So again, we're going to have a test Monday, Tuesday. We're going to do some practice questions. I have already done 2, 3, 4 practice questions in period 1. So you're going to be able to watch those on Canvas. Hopefully we'll have those on there later in a little, like in a couple hours. And then 11 and 12 are also done on the practice test. But I'm going to do 4 again because someone has asked to see that one. So I'm going to do that problem number 4 right now. And then if you have other questions, you can ask me. So number 4 gives you ordered pairs, and it says, which of the following has an inverse function? Now, I want to make sure you realize this says circle all that have inverse functions. So if there's more than one, you got to circle them both. Like if there were 2, this would be worth 2 points that you circled the 2 right ones. If you circle wrong ones, you're going to lose points for circling wrong ones. So what I need to do, I want to tell you, first of all, if I look at ordered pairs, to check the original function, you just look at the axis. So if you look for repeating. So the 2, the 3, the 5, the 3, the original would not be a function because those 3's repeat. Okay? Now on the inverse, you're supposed to know that on the original function, it's x, y, and to get an inverse functions ordered pair, I hope you all know we flip-flop those. So the new x for the inverse is the old y. So what I want to look at to know if there is a function, if the inverse is a function, I want to look at the y values. So when I look at the y values, I see a 4, and a 4. And since that is the x in the inverse function, that means the inverse would not be a function, because when you flip those around, that'd make the x's repeating in the inverse. When I look at this next one, I got 4, -7, -2, -1. None of those y's, which are the x's in the inverse, none of those repeat. So this inverse is a function. If I look at number C, I got 4, -1, 4. Again, I've got the same y in the original function, which means the inverse is not a function. And over here, I got a -1 in the y's for the original, which means the inverse is not a function. So on this practice test, B is the only one that's not a function. Okay, so I've been asked about number 11, and they asked us, since the way this is determined, it says, I guess you guys can all read it. It is saying there is an inverse and you need to find it. That's what it's saying. So you're doing the 4 steps on this problem. I'm not really sure. You don't need these parentheses. I don't know why they're on there. But first thing you do is plug y in. And I would probably write it like that instead of the x up there. But then you would change these around, and then you're going to solve for y. And I did this problem. I did that problem in period 1, so you can go through and look at that to see what happens in it. Okay, so you do not need to prove that that is inverses. All you're doing is finding it. The one at the top is the one you're proving that they are inverses. And I also did that one in period 1. Are there any other problems on this practice test that anybody wants to see? I'm going to do all the practice test questions that I have not done yet, if you have any more you'd like me to do. Okay, I've been asked to do problem 4 from the trail walk. So I'm going to take a picture of problem 4 from the trail walk here. And just so you know, some of you may not have heard it yet. Oh, number 4 is the same way. It's the problem we just did. Do you still need to see that problem number 4 on the trail walk? Okay, super, because number 4 on the trail walk is the exact same as the one I just did on the other page, number 4. So I'm pretty sure that's going to be on your test. Does anybody else have anything you want to see off of anything, since it doesn't seem like there's any more questions off the practice test? Could you do number 9 on the pre-test? Okay, so I'm going to go do number 9 on the practice test. So this, the directions up there say, hey, we want you to tell what the transformations are, and then we want you to graph it over here on this graph. So that is a cube root, I believe. So the parent graph is this. So you got to ask yourself the question, how many things are different down here and in here than just this cube root of x? So what I'm hoping you see is that there's a +2 in this radical. Radical is another name for a root. And there's a +2 outside the radical. So both of those things are different. So there are two things being done to this parent function to get this. And since this is inside the parentheses, that means that is a horizontal shift. And you must write the word shift out because there are shrinks and stretches, but there's only H for horizontal. So there's a horizontal shift left 2, because when it's with the X, it's opposite the way it goes. And then this +2 outside here is a vertical shift. And again, you have to write the word shift out because there are stretches and shrinks, and but only one V for vertical. So there's a vertical shift up 2 because the thing outside is in the same direction. Now you are not supposed to graph this graph, but I want to show you what that graph looks like up here. It's a walk like an Egyptian graph. So it goes through -1, -1, 0, 0, 1, 1. And if you put 8 in here, the cube root of 8 is 2. So it goes through 8, 2. Oops. Wait a minute. I put these in the wrong spots. My bad. The origin's right there. There's 1, 1, -1, 1. So if you do the cube root of 8, you get 2. And if you do the cube root of -8, you get -2. So this graph kind of looks like this. Okay, that's what that graph looks like. So then I've got to take all these points that I just put on there. I'm going to put them in a different color here. All these points that I just put on there all move. And they all go to the left 2 and up 2. So I'm going to start with this one right here, this -8, -2, which is right here, -8, -2. It goes left 2 and up 2. So that point would go right there. And then this -1, -1, which is right here, goes left 2, up 1. So it shifts to here. I'm sorry, up 2, not 1. So I didn't go that one up far enough. So this is left 2, up 2, would put it on the x-axis. And then this one is going to go from -1, -1, left 2, up 2. And then the 0, 0 is going to go left 2, up 2. And the 1, 1 is going to go left 2, up 2. And the 8, 2 is going to go left 2, up 2. And then I just connect those dots. So that would be what your graph would look like. So this over here would be worth 2 points because there's 2 of these things. If you leave one off or put an extra one on there that doesn't work, you lose points. And I think this graph is probably going to be worth about 3 points. Okay. Does anybody else have anything you want me to do on any problems? Anything else you want to do about anything dealing with these transformations or inverses? That's what your test is going to be about on Monday and Tuesday. Anybody got anything else you want me to do? If you have any questions, now's the time. I will check my email periodically over the weekend. So if you come up with something you need, you let me know and I'll try to get back to you about it. Also, I'll have 7th period. We'll have some problems probably they want to see done too. And I will do those and post those. One question. What does that mean? What is your one question? Does that mean question number one? Oh, hold on here. Which one is the flip over x-axis and which one is the flip over y? Okay, I'm going to show you that right now. Now, I did this. There's a problem that asks about that. Right. Nope, back the other way. This one right here, reflection. Flipping over is called a reflection. And we have a reflect, and this is on the other class's video already. Reflect over x, and we have a different one that is reflect over y. Over the y-axis, reflect over the x-axis and over the y-axis. So the one that reflects over the y-axis would be when you put a negative in front of everything. The one that reflects over the y-axis is when it's in parentheses with the x. So if you look at this one, the reflection here, well, first of all, it can't be these two because they're not the same function. They're totally different. These are reciprocal functions. But these two are the same function. Well, this one is identical, so this doesn't do anything different. But you see that negative right there? That is a reflect over the x-axis. So that would be an x-axis reflection because there's not parentheses around it. So A would be the one that reflects. Anybody else have any questions on anything? Nobody? So everybody's going to get 100, I hope, on Monday and Tuesday. That would make us all happy. All right. Well, if you guys don't have any more questions, I'm going to call it a day. I hope you have a great weekend and stay out of trouble. Do what's right, not what's popular. Last call out. Any others? All right. We'll have a good rest of the weekend, and I will see you guys Monday and Tuesday. Hope you have a great weekend.